Hi guys, I'm going to read you another story. So this one is called Jack and the Incredibly Mean Stalk by Gemma, Cary and Caswell. Once there was a boy called Jack. He lived with his mum in a tiny flat and he believed in magic. One day, Jack sold their television in return for some magic beans. Jack's mum was so angry that she tossed the beans out of the window. Before long, something below began to rumble. "What is it?" asked Mum. "An earthquake," suggested Jack. Jack and his mum ran outside, just as a little green shoot burst from the earth. The little shoot became a thin stem, and the thin stem became a chunky stalk. A crowd began to gather nearby. "Fee!" said the stalk. "Fie!" it cried, getting taller still. "Fo! Fum!" it yelled, so everyone could hear. "I smell a boy and his stinky mum." Jack's mum immediately scuttled home to take a bath. "That was a bit unkind," said Jack to the beanstalk. "Well," it replied, "I'm not any old beanstalk. I'm an incredibly mean stalk, and I plan to live up to my name. Do you know what else I can smell?" "What?" asked Jack. "Your whiffy feet." The crowd laughed, and Jack blushed. "Lucky for me," said the mean stalk, "I'll be growing higher and higher, far away from your festering toes." Dear, that's a bit unkind, isn't it? Jack felt miserable. He sat with his mum looking at the space where their TV used to be. He was disappointed that his magic beans had created such a monster. Meanwhile, the mean stalk grew up and up. "Oh, Jack," it teased, "it's beautiful up here. What a shame I'm the only one tall enough to see it." "You could let me climb up," said Jack. "Never," replied the mean stalk, and it carried on growing. One day the stalk spotted a giant's castle nesting in the clouds. "Fee, fi, fo, fum!" roared the mean stalk. "I detect pops from a giant's bum." The castle drawbridge creaked and lowered, and a giant appeared. "Please don't be mean," he said bashfully. "It's ever so lonely up here, and I'm entirely friendless. Might you be my friend?" "Never," replied the mean stalk, and it carried on growing. "Wait," said the giant. "Do you know anyone who might be willing to be my friend?" "I know a pungy boy called Jack," said the stalk. "You two are probably smelly enough for each other." "Would you kindly allow me to climb down and meet him?" asked the giant. "Never," replied the stalk. But the giant wasn't ready to give up. He wrote letters to Jack and sent small presents floating down through the sky. Jack read the giant's letters and received his thoughtful gifts. He wanted to say thank you. "Please, please, can I climb up to meet the giant?" Jack begged. "Never," said the mean stalk. "Just look at how tall I am. I'm taller than a tower of giraffes. I'm taller than the whole rainforest. I'm taller than a stack of skyscrapers. I'm the tallest thing on the planet." Soon the mean stalk grew so tall that it soared through the Earth's atmosphere and burst into space. "Fee, fi, fo, fum!" it cried. "Now I'll have some real fun." The mean stalk floated around, drifting between the stars and planets. After a few days of floating and drifting, the stalk realized how quiet it was. Suddenly it felt very, very alone. "What am I doing up here?" it thought sadly. You can see it in space. The mean stalk wound its body down and down, round and round, back to earth. It saw how happy everyone was. They haven't missed me at all, thought the mean stalk. I'm useless. Being mean is useless. The mean stalk nudged its head through Jack's window. Jack, it said tearfully, I want to stop being mean, but I don't know how. I have a few ideas, said Jack. Nice to meet you, Jack. You must be the giant. Whee! So helpful. Very useful indeed. Thank you, mean stalk. Wait a minute, said Jack. We can't call you mean stalk any more. You're kind and helpful and extremely useful. What shall we call you instead? Said the not-so-mean-at-all stalk, thinking carefully. I quite like the name Stanley. Very well, said Jack. Thank you, Stanley. So Jack and the giant, Stanley and everyone else lived together happily, and Stanley never called anyone stinky again. The end.